in it now. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Talton Off-Road. I'm Philip.
And I'm Lindsay.
We travel the country full time in this. With our rock crawler, we go all over the country wheeling at bucket list spots and checking out cool things in between. Today we're going to be sharing with you all the breakdowns that we've had in over a year of travel with this truck and the rock crawler, because it's a lot to maintain.
And we're going to share with you what it all cost along the way.
So Windrock was the first big major repair that we had when we set out on the road.
One of the biggest to the Buggy the whole time.
Yeah, so far that's been one of the most expensive on the Buggy. I took out an RCV shaft. RCV was no help on replacement. Since I didn't buy them, there was no warranty, which I understand that. But they were really rude when I called, and I was unimpressed. So I done away with RCV. I called East Coast Gear Supply. I had to replace the locker as well. When the RCV broke, it took out the Detroit, not uncommon. So I went back with the Grizzly, and we replaced those with some Chromo 35 spline shafts and super joints from East Coast Gear Supply, and never looked back.
We had to change our schedule because of this, because
yeah.
The other thing about having repairs while you travel is like you need a good place to do it, and off-roading it's like, well, we can't just go to a campground and do it. So we had to stay an extra week at Windrock, and we missed it's Chocolate, right? I think he says Choco.
I think everybody else calls it Chocolate. I don't know, let us know, what is it called?
So we didn't get to go there, but we had time and space to make the Buggy repair.
Yep, shout out to Windrock for being accommodating and letting us fix our stuff there.
Our next big wheeling spot was Rugged Mountain Ranch in Oklahoma, which is one of our favorites. Two guys drove up from Texas to show us around, and Philip promptly broke the drive shaft on the first trail of the day, which was Tackett Creek.
Current situation, Tackett Creek is winning.
Luckily, they were able to fix it, so they drove all the way back to their house in Texas and provided a makeshift drive shaft for us to finish the weekend.
That drive shaft that JD made me lasted all the way through wheeling Table Mesa with wrecked gear, all the way up through Sand Hollow. Had a blast. But once I got to Utah, I did have a new drive shaft made from Driveline Tech, and it's still on the Buggy today.
We're thankful that we ran into lots of people along the way that helped us out.
Lindsay loves beavers. I don't know why. There's a beaver den right there. Next up was the radiator on the truck. The radiator was just like a need to top it off every now and then kind of deal. So it wasn't like a major problem. But since I was heading to go hang out with Bronson over in Arizona, I called him while I was in Oklahoma and said, hey, can I ship a radiator to your house and swap it when I get there? And he said, yes, of course.
All right, so this is the old radiator. Philip pointed out that it was leaking in several spots, including right here. And he has the new one in. You think this is gonna fix our problems? Oh, a Fanta at noon, I don't know.
I like to party. So I had to put a radiator in the truck. That was, I don't know, about another $700. The drive shaft wound up costing $700. I spent a little over $2,000 for the Windrock repair when the front end got replaced, not to count staying an extra week at Windrock, which is not cheap, and missing out on some things. Huge thanks to Bronson and Jess for showing us around Table Mesa, Arizona, and letting us crash at their house for a week. And I learned from Bronson. Really thankful for that. Speaking of Bronson, that leads us into the next major issue that we had, and that was the hitch receiver breaking on the truck. Yeah, this cracked on the back side of this. So they're gonna cut all that out. It's gonna be pretty extensive.
Which was probably the scariest repair or breakdown that we had, and we didn't really know how serious it was until we got back to Bronson's house and was like, oh, we almost lost our home and everything that was in it.
And could have caused a major accident and killed somebody, bus full of nuns. You just never know.
Shout out to Arizona roads. That,
yeah, golly, I know
the
where.
Worst in the country.
17 south coming out of Flagstaff. It's the worst road in the whole country. You can check out here a little bit of what went on, but that was fixed by Southwest Crawlers right there in Chino Valley, Arizona. Shout out to Jesse and Joe.
Thank you for fitting us in.
Yeah, Bronson made a call and said, look, this dude is in town. He travels full time. He's got to have this fixed like right away, and it's bad. They squeezed us in that day on a Monday. I took the truck up there at like 8:30 in the morning. I had the truck back at lunchtime the following day, fixed up. Been all over the country since they got it fixed up. So if I'm ever on that side of the country, or if you're over there, Southwest Crawlers in Chino Valley will get you squared away. Great group of guys over there. We're due for another pot of coffee, so we're gonna head back, finish this up over some coffee. Lindsay bought me the latest model of the Green Mountain Grill Trek here to replace my Davy Crockett. This thing is awesome. I got a fancy pellet keeper. Moving right along, the next thing that happened was the bumper fell off the bumper.
The bumper?
Bumper dumper. The bumper actually fell off the camper with our bikes on it. Now I'm on the side of the road and the whole bumper has gave way.
Which was Philip's fault.
That's true, it was my fault.
I said, I think there's too much weight on the back there. Oh, well, we're gonna put all four back there.
But then it just twisted the welds right off the camper. You could check that video out here.
That was fun.
The same time that the bumper fell off, I had fan clutch issues again. And this time is when I through bolted the fan clutch.
You know what I was just realizing?
What?
While doing this, we did a lot of repairs got at different stops.
Oh, every stop somewhere was, you know, doctoring something up. Man, I was in Cortez, I was dumping pepper in the radiator and kind of stuff. I don't know why the truck blew up.
Yeah.
Then I took a friend out wheeling out in Cortez at Mud Springs and snapped a rear axle. It also wrecked a spindle, so I had to convert my 14 bolt to Dana 60 style.
We did that in the campground. Philip is putting back together something that he broke again.
What had happened was,
He said he was being careful.
I was being very careful.
And then he wasn't careful.
It was a gentle break. This whole time, my new radiator, new as in Chinese that I bought off of Amazon, has began leaking again.
If that's not the story of our life, I don't know what is.
A new radiator was 1,100 bucks. The Amazon radiator was 500 bucks. But when I have to buy a radiator twice, I didn't save anything.
That's usually how it goes. And not because of me. And I probably would have told you to get the real deal, but.
And I didn't have to buy the same one twice. I bought the cheap one for half and then bought the one I should have bought for full price. So it cost me more and it cost me time and, you know, didn't help with the whole engine blowing up and everything, which leads us to the biggest one, the last one. And I'm gonna have a bonus for you, so don't leave yet. Then the truck blew up and I was editing and realized I left something important out. When this blew up, it cost us an additional $4,000, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's like $1,200 to ship it back, $1,600.
$1,600 to put the truck on the low boy, ship it back.
We spent $400 on a rental truck.
Yeah, $400 on a rental truck, so we're at $2,000, and we had about $1,000 in the
U-Haul.
So $3,000. Fuel in that thing, all that stuff. Well, I had to buy fuel anyway, so can't count that. So there's some expenses that we forgot that I threw in the edit. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button and definitely check out this video. It's the best video on our channel, and that was a wild ride.
And as you can see, It was a wild ride the whole time, and it's going to be another wild ride when we roll back out again.
Yeah,
So-
we're getting fired back up. You know, there's only a couple weeks left here. By the time you're watching this, we're getting ready to leave. So hit the subscribe button, stick around, and we're going to give you the bonus one. You travel enough, you spend enough time driving, period, this is going to happen. Whatever, man's got a skill that he's good at, I got to pay for it.
So we were gonna go eat, but then Philip just spent our whole budget for today and tomorrow unlocking the keys in the truck. So.
Yeah.
Philip is notorious for locking keys in the car. Like on one of the hottest days of the year, we go sightseeing in Thermopolis, Wyoming. It's beautiful, had a great day, but we're hot. We come back to the truck,
Keys are in it,
can't get in.
laying in the seat. And I have a spare key zip tied under it, but I used that 2 weeks prior when I locked the key in the truck.
So
And I didn't put it back.
So tell them how much that cost us that time.
$80 for a man to come out there and unlock the truck in about 5 minutes. That was $80 well spent, I guess. But
yeah.
it just sucks, you know, knowing I was supposed to have a key under the truck. But if you got one of these new fandangled trucks that have all the stuff in your phone and whatnot, you're not excluded. Because we were on the way to the ranch for New Year's, and the guy in a Dodge had locked the keys in his truck. Well, no, it was the dog. His dog stepped on the lock button. The key fob was sitting there on the console. He had the Uconnect system and was supposed to be able to do it from his phone, and it wouldn't work. And they were having to send somebody out there. So
he was trying to get the dog to hit the button.
Yeah, they were
again.
teasing the dog with hot dogs from the gas station. Come here, doggy. Come here, doggy.
So you're not safe in any situation.
If you've been hanging around and you want to know what each one costs, Windrock cost $2,000. The camper bumper in total probably cost me $300. The truck hitch, Southwest Crawlers really done me right. What did he charge us? It was something stupid, like $800, I think. That really should have cost another $2,000. For the amount of fab work and the way he pushed the rest of his clients out to squeeze me in. I appreciate you if you're watching, Jesse. Hope you're doing good, and hope we cross paths again. And
know that your work is still solid.
yes, still going, fixing to go back out. So thank you. Radiator.
We just talked about that.
Yeah.
Probably about 12 to 13.
It was $500 for the first one. I think it was $1,000 for the second one, which got replaced at the same time as the motor. Cortez rear axle. I paid $100 for those 14-bolt shafts, and of course there's some gear oil and all that stuff. $150. Drive shaft, $700. But I converted the yokes to 1410, so some of that cost was in the yokes. Keys, $80. And the biggest one, the engine, was $19,000 and some odd change. We call it 20. Feels like 20 from here. But in that cost was new injectors, new high pressure fuel lines, new radiator, new fan, because I had to convert to a fan clutch, or a truck fan, because I went with the Dirty Hooker diesel billet hub to just delete the fan clutch. Fan is 100% on at all times.
So hopefully we don't overheat we overheated like every single time we left.
I drove across the Midwest with the heat on and the windows down a lot of times.
Yeah, it was like expected that the truck would be
It
high
just
on
became normal. But now I know, like, that cheap radiator was always seeping. So I don't think I was ever building the proper pressure within my cooling system to keep it working good under a load. We'll know soon, but I've got my fingers crossed that with all this brand new stuff, that hopefully it's not hot no more. We shall see. Anyways, we're glad you stopped in for this video. Here's the total. I'm tallying all that up right here. This is what it costs for a year of maintaining. Oh, I don't think I can put that there because my texts suck.
Every time you do that, it's almost like you hot pot me.
Right here, somewhere on the screen is a number on what all of that costs. That's no fuel or anything. That is unplanned repairs and expenses for being on the road We're gonna see you guys next week.